Yeah, yeah, we making moves. Yeah, we making moves. Yeah, yeah, we making moves. Yeah, we making moves. Yeah, we making moves. Making moves.
Welcome back to the Making Moves podcast. I'm Melee.
I am Jules.
And we are your host here for the best podcast in the world.
AKA the Godcast. I'm always going to put that in there. This is the Godcast.
Yes.
Making moves, man.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate y'all.
Episode 3, man.
Yeah, we moving. We making moves.
We definitely making moves.
We really making moves. Like it's a beautiful process. How you feeling?
That's what I wanted to talk about. Like, we usually talk about all these trending topics and stuff, but we never really get into how we actually feeling, what's been going on with our lives. And we talk about our lives, but I like to start it like that, you know? I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. Like I said, I've been in this work transition right now, so it's been a roller coaster. It's been definitely a ride. I'm seeing people that I'm not gonna say I never would dream of seeing, but some legends.
You want to name drop?
I will name drop this one. I will name drop this one. Okay. But the other day I seen Robert De Niro. And that was big.
That is.
He actually looks very small in person, but I know he is getting old. So that is just one of those people. Like, man, I got to see Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
See him up close in person live. He was cool. We didn't really get to chat because we was on set, but he was definitely cool. And I'm like, man, he's just an old timer now.
Yeah, it's crazy. That is when you text me that, I was like, whoa, okay, that. I don't know. If we thinking about the list of like who's the most famous person we ever met.
Who's the most famous person we ever met? Ooh, that's a good one. I don't
know. That one's up there.
That is
like,
up there.
You're talking about legendary, like.
But who's the most famous person we actually got to like really like have like conversation with?
Dang.
Simon Cowell is very famous.
Simon Cowell is very famous.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. Yeah, Britney Spears.
I felt like your theatrics and everything that you brought to the table was really, really intriguing and interesting to watch. I loved it. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like who.
We met a lot of people. The Rock.
We did meet The Rock.
The Rock is big, but we're not going to compare who's bigger, but
yeah,
that is legendary.
I think Britney Spears...
Britney Spears is
The
bigger.
Rock is more relevant.
Yeah. All right, I got a question. Who would you say is the most impactful person that made it more of a like, or quote unquote starstruck that we were when we seen like, because we meet a lot of people, but we're just like, oh, hey, that's cool. That's Britney Spears. The Rock was one of those people. I'm not gonna lie. When we met, it was like
out of nowhere.
What? We literally bumped into him like on the way to a performance, walking down the street, and he just happened to walk out at the same time, and I'm like, yo, that's The Rock.
Yeah, I just seen a big freaking dude. I'm like, that's a big ass dude. Like, ain't no regular guy that damn big. So I'm like, yo, who the heck is that? And he was like, yo, that's The Rock. I'm like, The Rock.
Yeah, because we grew up watching WWE. Like, The Rock was really big. So, we had to show some love. But is there anybody else that was like, wow?
I think when we met Common,
oh man,
that was dope.
That's a legendary. That day itself is legendary.
That day was a dope day.
We used to meet a lot of people on our way to California, just from that flight from NYC to California.
From New York to California, the two entertainment states. Mm-hmm.
So we were on. Okay, yeah, we ran into him at the airport.
At the airport, I don't know where. It was in New York. I think we were in New York.
The craziest thing about this story that I don't know if you remember, he just dropped the album, and we were literally bumping the album.
Yes.
Like that day during that time, it was like literally bumping the album that day. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It was like at that moment we were listening to the album like on the plane and then just running to him.
Yeah. It gets me tight when I think about that because
Wait, why you say that?
I love Common, man. I really rock with Common,
Yeah, that's
and
a
it
fact.
did not show. I did not like tell him anything about how much. I know you don't really want to do that sometimes.
Well-
make sure to hear it.
Well, he was a little bit I'm not gonna say standoffish, but he was kind of like,
We're at the airport.
yeah, he was like, yeah, it was good, because we were like, yo, we on TV right now and stuff like that, and like he showed us love. He definitely did show us love, but
you got to remember, yes, that was the first time we bumped into him. It's like, you know, when you first bump into somebody,
Yes.
it's like whatever. But the same because we going through, TSA and stuff together. So by the time we get through TSA, get our tickets, and be in like the lounge area, we saw him again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the moment I felt like either spit a verse, which I'm tight with. I didn't do.
Nah, you didn't have to.
Nah, I think I
disagree with that.
verse for him. It's not even just
Because it's
like,
the moment, it's the moment. You. I mean, to each your own. But I feel like that was just the perfect moment, and I could see that he was kind of not there. It would have been
Nah, that
different if
second
we had
time,
a.
I feel like that second time he was like standing there, like he was looking at.
Yeah,
us,
he was
like,
trying to figure us out.
Yeah,
he was definitely like
he was engaged.
he was trying
like
to figure us out. Like, all right, yo, who are you guys? And we like, yo, we on TV. He's like, yeah, I don't watch TV.
Yeah. I could tell that part. But even that second time, like when we bumped into him again, I feel like
He definitely would have rocked with you though if you spit a verse, because he's like that. He's
And I
hip
know.
hop at the heart.
And that's the thing I think got me. Like, because I've seen other people do that and he's really receptive of it because he's a real hip hop head and a real rapper. I think he appreciates that. He's not like, I ain't trying to hear no verses. I think he's really like, yo, he loves it. So like, I think if I'd spit a verse for him or at least tell him like, yo, I really rock with you. Like,
but
I
at
grew
the
up listening
same
to your
time,
albums.
I feel like we did have to catch a flight that time because
I
in that same day, who else did we meet? That is legendary.
Is that Wiz Khalifa?
No, that wasn't Wiz Khalifa. It was Alec Baldwin.
Oh, Alec Baldwin. We met Alec Baldwin that day.
And the funniest thing about this story is we just met Common. We were like, yo, we just met Common. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And we walk in and literally Alec Baldwin comes up to us and he's like, he stops us.
You know I'm gonna stop you.
And he's like, you dropped something. And we're looking on the ground like, what? What are you talking about? Like,
Nah, we ain't dropped nothing.
and like, we didn't drop anything. And then we were trying to catch our flight. And then it just hit us like later, like, yo, was that Alec Baldwin?
Yeah. And then it kind of felt like he was trying to get our attention. We didn't drop nothing, bro.
Because he was like, you dropped something.
Yeah, like he thought we was gonna be like, oh shit, Alec Baldwin.
It's me. And we're like, looking on the ground like, nah, we didn't drop anything. And then we walked away from him. And while we're walking, we're like, yo, what's that?
Yeah, that was we had a lot of moments like that where like we randomly bumped into people, randomly met people, gone to parties and meet people, and
especially on the airport. That flight, going back and forth, we met Wiz on the plane.
Right.
That was a dope. He was dope. Wiz Khalifa was definitely down to earth. Because at first we was like, yeah, I can't take no photos right now, and then he was like, nah, F it, man, we gonna take this photo. And stuff like that. So that was really cool of him.
Yeah.
But
speaking of celebrities, the Met Gala just happened.
Ah man, I missed it, man. I didn't get to
watch either. I saw a few clips and stuff. I think of course we love Rihanna.
Rihanna. We love you,
having
Riri.
Another baby. Which one is this for them?
I think this is number 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love it, man. Because
beautiful.
You a billionaire. Shoot, if I had a billionaire wife. They're not married yet, huh?
I don't think they're married. I think we would have known.
I think
it would have been big.
I think maybe that's they're engaged, but they like to keep things on the low too.
Yeah, they did a behind the scenes type deal.
But I think if you're a billionaire, you're making all this money, you did your career, you put in your time, pop them out. Right. I would be popping them out left and right, especially with Riri.
At that point, it's like, you have everything. What don't you have? Family. Mm-hmm. Create the family. Like you have everything. Now I think she's at the point where she literally does have everything. Like she has family, she has money, she has success, she has,
I think they asked her about another album too, and she was like, "It's never coming." Like,
never coming?
She's trolling. It's gonna come, but it's gonna be on her time. Don't be asking about it. Right now, she's focused on her family, and I think that's a beautiful thing too. When you in this career, you don't want to be doing an album, touring, and doing all of this and not be with your family, and unless it's on some Beyonce level where you're literally having your children in the show with you. Right. I think that's really cool. So, big ups to ASAP and Rihanna. I think they are epitome of like a friendship that became a relationship. Because I remember at times back then they were doing like interviews together, and he would have his arm around her, and they were like cool.
Yeah, they seem like homies.
They seem like homies,
right?
And you can see that translate. And one thing I'm a big up for A$AP Rocky. He knows how to move, man. He found the one, and he speaks so highly of her. He makes sure he puts her first. They even try to get her. They try to get him off. They try to get him a little bit. I think in the Met Gala, they asked him a question like, oh yeah, what do you think of the beautiful black woman? It was around there. And he's like, my woman is beautiful. Like, he's like, you trying to get me caught up. They always try to get him caught up, and he always puts his woman on a pedestal. But I think it's vice versa too. Like, it goes back to that quote of like, we are the house, but the women is the foundation that keeps us up, keeps us alive. And it's up to women to either build your man up or break him down. Right. So I love their relationship.
Yeah, you could tell they're super supportive, and they look at this big ass bug in here. We wanted to I was thinking about that too, because I don't know if people can hear. There's like noises. We outside.
We love it.
We are outside.
We making moves.
This is not a set. You know what I mean? This is not like a set. We in the studio. Nah, we in the Making Moves van, and we are literally outside.
And we making moves.
Yeah. So we on the move. This podcast is going to be in many different places. So like, if you hear stuff from outside, just know we outside. So no, what I was going to say is I was thinking about when he had that situation where he was about to, maybe do some time. And, you seen them in the court, and when he got acquitted, and he ran to her.
He jumped in her arms.
Yeah, they embraced so well. And I was like, you could tell like she was really like, that would have broke her. Like if he got some time, had to be away from the family. Man. And that was just a testament to like, they have a real dope bond, like a really beautiful bond. Like that is, it's special.
Man, you got children. Man, why not? We're not promised tomorrow. Make that legacy. Make the legacy. And I'm pretty sure this will not be the last child that they have. Me, I will be like the Jackson 5 and all the Waynes. I will be having them back to back with Rihanna, and because we know
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
You think they argue?
I believe so. I do think, because you got she's from Barbados. Yeah. You got that fire, man.
And he's from New York.
And he's from New York. But they have relationships like Alicia-Keys and Swizz-Beats. They say they never argue, which is like.
Do you think that's impossible?
Honestly, when you have money.
I do. Yeah. I do.
I think it's definitely possible. What are you arguing about?
Right.
Well, money and love right. First,
right.
And before love, God, so if you have all these, aspects of a relationship, especially like, because what do most people argue about,
Yeah. Oh, this didn't get done on time, or you pick the kids up here and da-da-da. It's like stuff that, if you have money, it will likely be very much alleviated.
Even though they say more money, more problems. So, we could say that, but at the same time, it does matter about the communication and the vibe. And I feel like Alicia Keys and Swizz definitely have that vibe where they're like, they kind of they have similarities.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know them personally. Actually, I messed with Swizz one time, which was really dope. He was DJing at a party.
Oh, okay, I remember.
Yeah, that was really dope. Yeah, and he's a vibe where he's like I think nonchalant, calm person. You never really seen Swizz black out, bugging out. You never seen Alicia Keys wilding out.
Right.
They're both from New York. Their last names is amazing. I like Swizz, Alicia Keys, Keys Beatz. Oh man, it's just like,
imagine an album.
Divinity.
I don't know what that album would be, but that album would be fire. Swizz or Beatz Keys. Keys Beatz.
That's what I'm saying. It's like divinity.
Beat the keys, baby. Oh, that'd be fire.
So to hear that they never argue, oh man, that's something I wish I could say for the relationships.
I do think it's possible as well. I think it's possible to not argue in your relationships. It definitely takes a lot of, I guess, trial and tribulation, like, I guess in their case, from other relationships. And then it takes like two beings coming together at the right time that are evolved past that.
Yes.
Because I see that in myself sometimes, like, I'm not there yet. Lord knows I ain't there yet. But I see that in myself sometimes, like, I don't really want to be arguing anymore.
Yes.
I don't want to be
where
fighting.
You come to this peace, like enlightenment.
Yes. And then the thing is, what people really have to understand is a lot of the times that has you coming to that enlightenment, you coming to that understanding doesn't have much to do with the other person or the outside things.
Yes.
It has everything to do with yourself. So you have to find that peace in yourself. A lot of times what people are trying to do is trying to find the right person who is not going to fight with me, or I got to be in the right situation or the right job, or I got to be in the right place, or No, that has nothing to do with it. You got to be aligned within yourself. All of the outside things are going to happen the way they're going to happen. You might have so many different things coming at you that's going to mess up your peace. But if you are peaceful, if you are aligned within yourself, none of that matters. So I think it's two people who have that understanding got together. And when those two people get together, they don't argue.
I love what you're saying, because I feel like the best thing to do when you are getting out of a relationship is
get another one.
Get under.
Get out.
When you're getting over one, you get under somebody. But no, I think the best thing to do is get in a relationship with yourself. This is for anybody out there, you're going through a breakup right now. The best thing to do, like he said, is to try to find your purpose within and fall in love with yourself. Because, at times, you feel like you always need someone. You can be in a relationship with yourself. There's times that I've gone to the movies by myself. There's times that I've gone to eat by myself. And this has happened mostly when I've gotten over a breakup. I start to go out to eat with myself. I start to go to movies myself. Like, you can go out yourself. I know it's a little tough for women, but I mean, you can do it. You can go to your favorite restaurant and treat yourself and learn yourself. So when you start to be in a new relationship, you don't feel like you need that person to make you happy.
Right.
And that's a lot of problems that's going on with today's world. It's like you're trying to find happiness in the other person instead of finding happiness within yourself. And
everything's about frequency, man. Like to your point, what you're saying about being in a relationship with yourself, it's about aligning yourself to a certain frequency. If you align yourself to this enlightened, positive frequency, this higher frequency, other people that are at that frequency will come meet you.
Yeah, you'll attract that.
You'll attract that. So a lot of times the people are either say you're a person who's vibrating at a low frequency, you're not understanding why you can't find a good relationship because there's no people around you who's operating in that frequency. So they're not matching you at that low frequency. But if you vibrate at a high frequency, you will find somebody who I mean, not to say you will. There's a possibility that you will find somebody who's actually at that frequency as well, and then you find this better connection. Because a lot of times you end up in these bad relationships because you're not bad person, but you're vibrating at a low frequency. You're gonna meet somebody else vibrating at that frequency.
I beg to differ. I disagree on that. The reason why I say that, I get what you're saying though, and that's true too. But there's another side of it that I've learned. Sometimes you could be a very good person and you meet a bad person because that bad person needs a good person in their life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's been relationships that we've been in where we are so positive that we actually attract the opposite because the Lord or the higher power is telling you that person needs you.
Right.
So most of the relationships that I've been in, I've attracted the complete opposite because at that moment, that person needed somebody who was positive to instill that into them, you know, and that happens in relationships a lot because a lot of people have that thought like, why me? Why do I always find these people that I'm saving? Why am I always saving this person? Why am I always, and sometimes it's because that's what it was meant to happen. You're supposed to instill that and have an impact on that person that is positive. So, you know,
I definitely agree, but I will say that I don't think frequency has anything or doesn't have a lot to do with good and bad. I think you can be a good person and vibrate at a low frequency. I think you can be a bad person and vibrate at a high frequency, like because that it's a different realm. Right. It's like it's not with anything to do so much with the physical. So like I felt that a lot. Like, yo, I'm a good person. I do this, I do that, but I'm also depressed. So I'm even though I might do all of these wonderful things on the outside, inside I'm depressed. So I'm vibrating at this low frequency. And then I meet another person who's vibrating at that low frequency as well. And then we get together and I realize, oh, dang, this is not the situation I was, or yes, for that time, like what you were saying, maybe you needed to meet that person at that time to get you to elevate. And that's just the scenario. Yeah, you know, two people meet each other at that time. Hopefully you learn from that, you know, experience and you both grow together. But a lot of times it's just like, oh, we met at this place where we were equals at that time. And then, you know, we evolve or we devolve and we realize
and that's true.
Not.
I understand now what you're saying. It's the difference between good and bad and high frequency and low frequency. Because at those moments that I felt like I was actually putting myself in a low frequency by dealing with certain people. Yeah. And I had to learn that lesson while that person had to learn how to, you know, higher their frequency. I had to learn to stop lowering my frequency.
Right.
You know, so I think that's a beautiful thing. Now I got a question for you. Like, because you said not the physical, but I don't think you were really talking about physical, but like, does sex really matter in a relationship? Because we were talking about this with like frequencies earlier, like how does it matter? And I was seeing this video about a divorce lawyer saying most relationships, most marriages have end off with the partners not having sex, and that was like a key thing. Yeah, you know. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I always say that I think sex is very important, but it's not everything. I think sex is very important, very, very important in a relationship. It's what we, on this physical existence, it's what we are kind of sort of made to do. Like we are literally, like our body parts fit in a way for sex. I mean, it's like our hormones react and interact with our bodies and other people's bodies in a way for sex. So we are made.
I like to say sex is sacred energy exchange. Those are the acronyms.
Even though exchange starts with a.
Even though I'm gonna keep still.
I had to think about it for a second, but I get your
exchange.
I get your point. Exchange.
You know?
Yeah, so I think sex is definitely important in that in a relationship that, you know, people. Yeah, it's important. I think
And
it's
sometimes it does not have to be physical to actually have sex, which is crazy because there's ways of just stopping and staring into a person's eyes. Because a lot of people do not do that. When they're making love, they're not really staring into, and you know what my thought is, you know, the eyes are the gateway to the soul.
You're right.
You know, so a lot of people are not being intimate because they don't even see the person that they're with. So just sex intimacy, you know, like I think it really matters. I think it really matters. And for me, like anytime that I was in a relationship and the person started not having sex with me, and granted, there's times that you take breaks because there's times that I've taken breaks where I just want to
maybe get more in tune with yourself, reconnect.
Yeah, you know, and that's with everything. I've taken breaks from, you know, drinking alcohol and eating bad food, you know, and sex. Sometimes you want to take that break, but when I feel like that person is trying to make an excuse not to have sex or be intimate, let's say that, I feel like that's a red flag for me. I start getting a red flag. I've been in a relationship where, you know, granted they say, oh, I'm gaining weight, I don't feel comfortable with it myself, and that goes back to what we were saying. And it's like, oh, I don't want to have sex right now. I look at myself and then I'm like, you look gorgeous to me.
Right.
I love a girl who can get fat. I love a girl who could fluctuate in weight. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I love my woman to fluctuate in weight. I love seeing every aspect of my woman. I think it's beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you, ladies, I know you see all of this on social media, all these fitness models. Trust me, we do not. A lot of men, we love you being thick. We love the little rolls. We love the fupa, the imperfections. Sometimes, like, and a lot of women be surprised because we witnessed this. People cheat on somebody and they be like, he cheated with her. Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. And at the same time, it has nothing to do with physical. But we want you to know that we love that. We love that. I also love somebody who's trying to be healthy. Don't get me wrong. I don't like somebody who's not being healthy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of women that's in the gym, they thick, and you looking in the mirror and you think that you're not the standard. No, trust me. And I'm a guy who's in the gym all the time, and I love a little thick shorty. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, be yourself. Be yourself. Your beautiful, authentic self. Be healthy also, though.
Be healthy. That's what I like. Like, don't be lazy. You know, be healthy. If you go into the gym and stuff like that, and then beyond physicality is the personality. It's the person within. It's the soul. It's the mentality. Also, you know, I'm a sapiosexual. Like, I like the mind. Like the mind is more important than physical to me. You know, and I've been in relationships where people are surprised. They're like, yo, I would never think that would be your type. It's like, it has nothing to do with that. A lot of men, and that's what happens with a lot of like celebrities and stuff. They get so used to having like these quote unquote dimes or tens, and then you realize they're shallow. They don't have no personality. And then you find the person who's working on themselves or who's very humble, and that's more attractive than the girl who thinks they can get anybody and they don't even read a book. They don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. I definitely think sex is important, though, and it's, you know, like I mentioned before, it's important, but it's not everything. And I think a lot of times, like what you're saying about, like, if you're being denied sex, sometimes it could be a red flag, and in many different ways. Yes, it can be a red flag, like that the person is cheating, is having that experience with somebody else, but it also can be that that person needs to do some
Soul searching.
Yeah, some soul searching with themselves.
And let me rephrase that, without any proper communication.
Right.
Because there's a lot of times that I like to fast. I like to fast. Like, I like to fast from red meat. I like to fast from sugar. And I like to fast from sex, which has got me into problems with my relationships because they would never expect that a man would deny sex.
Right.
And sometimes it could be what you're going through in life. If you're not, your mindset, you're stressed about work or stressed about certain things, and then you're like, nah, I'm not in the mood. That happens. But if you can't really communicate that properly or still show some type of intimacy, that's like a huge, huge red flag for me.
Yeah.
We
love sex.
Oh, baby, I like it. Yeah,
speaking of, this might be a bad segue, but speaking of, I try to avoid it for the longest times, but yesterday I watched 2 episodes of the Diddy, the Fall of Diddy.
I still don't know what's going on with Diddy.
So let me break it down.
All I know is he likes a lot of baby oil. Apparently.
Yeah, that's true, which is you would think that's a lie, but no, it's true. He had like 1,000, they confiscated 1,000 like.
What's wrong with that?
Oil. You gotta watch the documentary.
Listen, he's Diddy, man.
You gotta watch the documentary.
Listen, why do you say that? Give me
for a while,
the rundown.
It was like an ongoing kind of joke, like, man, I would say this, like, yo, I would be at the freak-offs. Y'all lying, y'all like y'all wouldn't be at the freak-offs. I would not be at the freak-offs.
Nah, I wouldn't.
I didn't know what the freak-offs really were. When I watched the documentary and I found out what the freak-offs
Wait, so tell me, explain. I want to hear this.
So
from your perspective,
let me start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning because obviously we know Diddy's history. We know, Bad Boy and all of that, the amazing music that he produced and the artists that he put on. But you know what is so crazy to me, how this all really popped off? Because I think we've always been hearing that Diddy's an asshole, Diddy's a piece of shit. Little murmurs of that, like, throughout his whole career. But the craziest thing to me, what popped this thing off, is in 2022, he was at an award show. He received an award, and in that award speech, he thanked Cassie. In 2022, Cassie's already married, has kids with another man. She's been out of his life for years. So he thanked Cassie. And people are saying, and I think maybe even Cassie has said, that was a way for him to still show his power over her. That was a way for him to be like, yeah, I still got you. Like,
allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. We don't know exactly what's in his mind, but like that.
Because what if you because they were together for a long time.
Yes. But when you backtrack and you look at the history, because that was the catalyst for things to explode, right? So when that happened, Cassie was like, yo, why is he mentioning me? He knows what he did to me. He knows all the stuff he put me through. Why is he mentioning me? So boom, she came for him. Then she started, that's how the whole thing started. Once that happened and she started kind of putting it back out there, he basically lit the torch himself. If he didn't say anything in that award show, none of this might have happened. It probably would have never happened. But that reignited something that was dead years ago, because he's been done with Cassie. So he brought it back up, and that's when the whole Cassie thing started. With him, people started talking about how he was abusing her, and then, boom, that footage came out in 2024 of him beating up Cassie.
Yeah, in the hotel.
And then that's when, obviously, everything really started blowing up and you're just, like, really crashing down on him. But, like, there was so many different interviews and things, what people were saying about the freak-offs was actually, like, him getting people, basically, to have, like, sex with Cassie. Like, it was like a... like a voyeurism type shit. Like he's watching people who have sex with each other, and he's like, basically creep shit. It was creep shit. I thought it was just
industry shit.
Yeah, I thought it was just like, Playboy Mansion stuff. Everybody's having, you get your woman, you take her to the room, da-da-da. We having a good time. But nah, this is like real creep shit. Like the freak-offs was like really, really on some creep shit. So.
But my thing is like, if there's these freak-offs, why isn't anyone else being named that is big? Because you're telling me that he did all this with no big names who can also lose something?
Well, yes and no. So what his bodyguard was saying was that a lot of times he did not do it with bigger people because they don't have any influence. It's once again that power thing. So he does it with people who he knows
they have
can control
influence.
you.
Okay, yeah.
You don't got nothing over him. So it's like he does it with people. He's like he knows like, yo, I can shut you down, or I can destroy your career, or I can. So,
but wouldn't you do it with someone where you could feel like they will try to protect their name as well as protecting them, who do have something to lose?
Well, that's possible. I mean, obviously we don't know. I think. This is another reason why.
Because it's like you're telling me that nobody who he's been around, he's been in the industry, has been included in these freak-offs.
This is why I'm bringing it up. Because the court cases are about to happen soon. And that's when these things may or may not start coming out.
Listen, I'm not
naming. They asked the jury, like, are you familiar with these names? I forgot what they asked. They said Kanye West. For them to be asking the jury, are you familiar with these people? That means they're involved with the court case somehow.
Maybe that's why Kanye tripping right now.
So yeah, they're asking Kanye West. I forgot who the name.
He's probably ready.
But they're asking.
But I'm not surprised. We're not surprised. These things happen in the industry, and we got a little taste of it. We got a taste of it.
You got to be careful how you say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't.
Let me.
Wait. Hold on. We didn't get no taste of.
We didn't get no taste of anything.
We seen and heard some things.
No. But you. That's what I meant.
I know what you mean. We had some experience.
We had experiences
in that realm. That was against us, not for us, not like we were,
a part of it. Yeah, I mean, we weren't even a part of it, but there was times that we've been tested within the industry, being in TV, being on TV, and there's people who we know, somebody like L.A. Reid, man, like the stories. Right now, I'm gonna be honest, we did this podcast for a reason, to put out these stories and to talk about like our experience throughout the industry and all. And L.A. Reid was being an asshole. He's not being an asshole. He is an asshole in my opinion, because there would be times that we would have interactions with him, and he'll be fake. He'll be totally fake, where he's like, yo, what's up, but there ain't no real conversation, no real to real. But connection. Then you hear the things that he's doing with the contestants, inviting them out to dinner and trying to,
It's definitely,
that's why he's hidden right now. He's totally hidden right now.
Listen, it might come to light, because I think we're coming to a time now where, the industry is getting exposed. There's a lot of people. I'm pretty sure he was
at those freak-offs.
There's a lot of people saying it. It's like it's some exposing about to happen, and there's certain people definitely like him who's like, it's unfortunate, but it's like it's a term that I like to say. I was like, yo, that's industry shit. Like, it's crazy to think that that's what we associate with industry shit. Like, people using their power to, to take advantage of other people. People like it's the same argument I always have about like, you know that you have this thing because we're artists. We want to achieve this goal, or we want to, see these dreams come to light. And you have the capability of doing that. So you use that to basically control people. And that's basically what Diddy did. That's basically what Diddy did. His whole the reason why this whole thing was coming down so hard is because he used the business. It'd be different if it was just his personal life. Right?
No, but he used his name.
No,
Just
no,
forget
no.
about
I'm saying in law. I'm saying in like law terms.
What happened with Cassie? You signed her, and
Yes.
you manipulated her.
Yeah, because he's using Bad Boy to do this. He's using the actual LLC. He's using his employees to go get the baby oil. It's different if you get your homeboy or you go do it yourself.
He's using his employees to go get him some cheesecake.
I mean, yeah, basically in the same instance, it's like you're using these people who you hire to do activities that support your illegal activities. So like the thing was like with you getting people to do sexual favors and all of those
Allegedly.
things. Yeah, I mean,
we'll see. I'm gonna keep
You're
saying
right,
allegedly because
we'll see when it comes to like.
But like I said, I'm not surprised because we've seen certain things in the industry where like this regrets that I have personally, like through the Xfactor thing. You remember that time we went out with a couple producers and one of the producers tried to kiss me? Yeah. Like I'm gonna tell you, male producer, I'm gonna tell this podcast and tell everyone, I've had so many experiences with homosexuals where they try an attempt to get me and do certain things to the point where we've been at parties and I'm like, yo, don't drink that. Or I'll do the Martin real quick. I'm like, chuck the drink. And me and Melee is laughing. We done that in China too. Like where people give us drinks, open drinks, and we're like, yeah. And I just put my tongue on it, the rim, and I'm like, I'm not just sipping there. You're crazy.
Nah, that's definitely happened.
But we are. We have those minds where we thought ahead and stuff like that. But yeah, I've had a producer on the Xfactor try to freaking make out with me.
Yeah.
And you gotta tell the story.
That was low-key crazy. And you know what that situation reminds me of? It reminds me of like how
Terry Crews. Terry Crews. Every time Terry Crews.
And this is the argument people have a lot. And this is the situation, like, you got to understand, if you're not in that predicament, you don't know what you would do.
You don't know what you would do.
You don't know. You would say, oh, yeah,
I'll knock him out and things like that. And it's like...
You would say all of that, but you don't know what you would really do. And I think, yes, if it got to a certain point, we would have...
No.
But it didn't get too crazy.
If they got... he crossed the line.
I mean,
he was he definitely crossed the line. But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Really but it's like, this dude tried to kiss me and I'm fighting him. Get off me, bro. Like
we in this, that night was kind of crazy actually, right? So like we go to this spot, we get invited to this spot, and I don't know why we came early. We came mad early, right? So we go to the spot. We go mad early. There's really nobody in there. It's pretty chill.
I want to say something, too. This is the personality that me and you have. We do not judge anyone.
Right.
We have homosexual friends, like bisexual, whatever you are. We have never judge anyone. What you do is what you do. As long as you're not like
it's love, man.
It's love.
It's love. As long
so there's times that we've been out with people and people shock like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Nah, there's times we've been in gay clubs. We've been in clubs where it's drag.
If you are comfortable with yourself, there's nothing to worry about. That's why we're confident to say it now. Like, listen, I do not care what anyone thinks. I know who I am.
Right.
He knows who he is. Like,
it's so funny. I'm sorry.
What? Say
it makes me think. You know what? It's like,
only reason why, like you said, we've been in gay clubs because Lyric.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to name drop, but
we keeping it a hundo.
I
we
hear
keeping
you,
it a
I hear you.
hundo. Listen,
But let me go through this whole day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let me go through this whole day.
this
So,
is a funny day. I'm not
so
gonna
we
hold
go
you.
to this club, right? No, we get invited out. Yo, we about to go to the spot. All right, cool. We don't know where we going. We down for the vibes. Like we with the people, we with the homies. We going to the club. So we go to the club mad early. There's nobody in there. So we in there. We chilling. We having a
We
good
didn't
time.
even know
It's a
what
beautiful
club. Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of the club. It's a beautiful
It's in
club in
California.
California, somewhere, like somewhere in California. And in LA.
In
Right,
LA.
specifically in Los Angeles. So we go out there, we having a good time. We get some drinks. We like, yo, these some good ass drinks.
So, yeah,
There's
he's
a bunch of men behind the bar. We're like, okay, that's that's different. There's men behind the bar. We don't really see that too often. There's maybe one or two.
We was
men,
like
just
Lyric's
mostly
brother
men.
too. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Pooh. Shout out to Pooh, man. He's like, yo, why is this dude with no shirt off serving me this good ass drink? He's like, nah, wait, hold on. We looking around like we didn't even know.
Yeah, no, it was because we got there so early, right? So we get there early. It's nobody there. There's guys behind the bar. It's kind of almost like they're still moping around. It's nothing like live yet. So we chilling, we getting drinks. We're like, yo, there's some good ass drinks. Like some guys behind the bar serving the drinks. We're like, all right, whatever. So we in there for a little bit. I don't know what happened. It feel like
Yeah, it was
time just skipped. I still to this day I remember it as like I'm talking to you and then I turn my head
and then it's just like a crazy
it's a rave
party.
It's a
like,
fucking rave. Like we just chilling. I felt like we was chilling and talking and vibing, having such a good time. By the time I turned my head around, there was nobody there.
And let me alliterate this. Like we were sober. We weren't. It wasn't time skipped as like we got roofied.
Yeah. It wasn't like that.
Time was moving, and it was like
we were just tapped in with each other. We were
we were vibing, and the next thing you know, it's like, yo, this thing is crazy in here. Like people are hanging off,
bro. What's goody? What's goody? What's good? Yo, thank you so much for watching right now. We appreciate that. We really do appreciate that support. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Make sure you let your loved ones, your family, your friends know that the Making Moves podcast is the greatest podcast in the world. All right? All right. I'm sorry to disturb you. Go back to the episode. Finish it out. Much love. Peace.
The pipes that were hanging from the ceiling. Mother was on the pipes.
On the pipes. Like, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, and then, that's why low-key, you said we didn't get roofied. We didn't realize it until we was in it. Then it's like, yo, motherfuckers hanging on the poles. We see dudes with the fucking bow ties and no shirt on. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah,
right.
It was like, it hit us later, like.
But it still didn't hit us. You know when it hit me? When we went to the bathroom, I'm taking a piss, and they got screens in front of the urinal, and I see gay porn.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, we didn't.
Oh, bro. We went back to the. Yo, shout out to Pooh. He was tight
because he was the same thing.
Yeah,
we all
the same
heterosexual men, and we didn't even know. And then later it hit us like. Oh,
this is a gay club, yo.
Like you said, we don't discriminate, but that wasn't our initial especially.
It just caught us off guard.
It caught us super off guard, especially the bathroom thing. The bathroom thing was just like,
You go take a piss and there's gay porn right in front of you. I'm like,
I don't remember that. I just remember me taking a piss in the urinal, and then there's a poster of a man as the urinal. And I'm staring at I'm like, nah, yo, we in the wrong place right now. We're not even supposed to be here. But, we got invited. Lyric has talked us into doing a lot of things. And we were, like we said, we were confident.
We were down for the vibe.
It was just like, whatever, man.
But that was the same time. So, like we were saying, when we walked in there, it was pretty empty. And then, like I said, by the time I turned around, it was lit. Like, crazy music. It was a good vibe, too. It ain't gonna lie. Like, we was in there for a little bit. We was chilling. We were chilling in there, and that's when old dude, because I don't even know his name. Old dude came in like, oh my God, you guys are here. Then he looked like he's
a producer from the Xfactor.
Producer from the Xfactor.
And we started taking shots, and then he started getting a little crazy.
Let's get some shots. We're like, all right, cool, we're gonna get some shots.
He started bugging.
Homeboy got an idea in his head. And this is what I wanted to say. In his defense, right? I don't think this makes it okay. I don't. Oh,
I want to hear this. I want to say in his defense.
I want to reiterate. I do not think this makes it okay. But in his defense, I think because he saw us in there, he just assumed we were gay.
That makes sense. Now, that makes sense. Now, I didn't think about that.
Assumed that we were gay, but that does not give you the right to force yourself on somebody.
And you know,
forcing himself on you. Like,
I'm gonna say another thing too. This happens to me a lot. For some reason,
people think you're gay.
For some reason, people think I'm gay or bisexual.
It's the tight shirt.
It's like
you got your chest
the muscles
out,
or something. And I'm very clean, dude.
Very well groomed.
At times, I would have a manicure, and I'm very clean. Right. So people have, even girls that I've been with, they would try to question me and try to be like, oh, do you like yo, no, I'm sorry.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie.
No,
I'm jealous a little bit. I never get hit on like that. What's up? Like, I never get hit on. Not like I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
But I never get hit on by gay men. I know I really
a gay man told me that one time when he asked me, and I'm like, nah. He's like, well, he said, take it as a compliment.
I do think that it's a compliment because I think it's a certain aesthetic that, those gay men go for. It's like a clean cut look and, you fit and all of that.
And that brings me to the next story. Yeah, this happened to me so many times where at one point I was actually signed to a record label in Germany. Mm. And I went to Germany and I was supposed to live out there. I completely moved. I sold my car, everything. I don't know what you were doing at that moment.
Shit, where was I?
Was you in
Is that when I just joined?
You joined the military? Yeah, the military?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think you did. Just join the military. A lot was going on, and I'm like, you know what? Because it's always been my dream to I'm a nomad. I love the fact that I can live in different places, and I experienced America already. I experienced places like China. You know what? Why not? I would love to live in Europe, and start my life in Europe. So I made that decision. I've been speaking to that CEO of the record label for years, actually, and I finally get the chance to go out there, and I'm like, all right, yeah. Before I make that permanent move, we'll go out there for about two weeks. I'll go out there for 2 weeks and see how everything is. Yeah, I go to Germany, love it. Love the food, love the place I was staying at because they gave me my own place. I'm like, all right, everything is paid for. I'm Gucci. I'm good. I'm about to be in Germany. I'm learning about their artists and everything. I'm like, yo, this is big. Now, the record label, go to where I'm supposed to be recording, the whole building, everything is lovely. And then the first day of shooting, the first time of working with each other, Serenic Entertainment. I'm going to put them on blast. Yeah, I have to put them on blast.
We putting it out there. All right.
Serenic Entertainment in Germany. So we finally do our first time working with each other. Hey, you know what? We're going to start this press. Let's do photography and do photos. Awesome. We getting it started. We're doing photos. I missed that time because I had my dreads, man. And I never got to show anyone I had my locks, man. I never got to show anyone these photos. We go to...
You still have them?
No, they never gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
They never gave it to me. So we're doing these photos. I'm doing, my thing. We're going to many locations. Then it gets to the part where it gets uncomfortable. Industry shit, like you would say. Industry shit. all right, we're gonna have you do this pose. We're gonna have you do this pose. You're gonna rap a pose that is not masculine. The first one, I'm like, you know what? I'm very daring. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm daring. Something light. Yeah, I'll do it. I do the pose. Yeah, I do the pose. Because that's what's going on right now in the industry, and I disagree with everybody. Oh, they're making masculine men seem feminine. I don't believe that. Like, there's times that I put on like a female's dress, not with a skirt or anything. I'm never taking that level. But
you might wear a blouse.
I wore a blouse and that it looks good. It looks good, and I've had people like shocked, like, wow, like, yo, I'm surprised you did that. Like, no, I like to take risk. I'm not afraid of what other people think, and I think that's the idea of fashion in itself. Taking risk.
Right.
And who's to say a man can't wear a skirt? Even though I've never done it. You have people in Ireland, I've seen this. They wear skirts and they do the whole bagpipes and stuff like that. Clothes is clothes to me. But to go back to the story of me in Germany, in Berlin, we start doing poses. I'm like, all right, I can do this. I'm not taking it there. Like, I told them I'm not taking it there. Next step, now they want me bending over. That's a no-no for me. For films, for anything, I just feel like, you said this in a rap one time, I bend over for no man. I am not bending over. I just feel like that's degrading in general. Like, just for a man, I'm not doing that. Now it gets to the point where I feel very uncomfortable. Listen, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with this. I'm not going to be able to do it. We're not doing this. I feel the whole energy for the whole shoot changes. I'm like, oh wow, all right. So this is their motive. This is what they want.
It couldn't just be like, oh, okay, I get it. Let's move on.
We let it go.
He's not.
We go to dinner. We go on an expensive dinner in Berlin. We're at the table. The conversation comes up. So what happened earlier? Well, I didn't feel comfortable. I don't really, that's not really that's not me. That's not my brand. That's not what I want to do. Well, we had this idea to make you like the Germany Little Nas X.
There it goes.
What?
Boom.
Nah, man, I'm not Little Nas X. I'm Jules. I'm Jules. Like, there's no other Jules. Well, we feel. They ask me this. They say, "Don't you want to be Fame Boy?" They use those terms. Fame Boy.
Fuck is that?
Fame Boy. Nah, honestly, I don't really care about the Fame Boy, to be famous. Like, that's not really the motive. That was never the motive. I like to make music and have an impact on people performing. I don't have to be famous. That's the difference between like celebrities and an artist. I don't want to be a celebrity. We could be doing what we want, and I don't have to be known. I am okay with that. And this has nothing to do with being a celebrity and being known. Oh my God, look at everybody. Look at everyone loves me. No, we originally did this to
stay out the streets.
Stay out the streets. I was just about to say that. I was trying to find a way to say stay out the ghetto, stay out the streets. And be financially free doing what you love to do versus being miserable at a job that you do not like. They asked me, "Are you successful?" I said, "Yes, I'm very successful." They're shocked. "What makes you think you're successful?" I said, "I'm here. I'm in Germany. I'm in Berlin."
Motherfuckers, how many people don't have that opportunity?
What you deem successful is not successful to me. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm across the world right now. I'm in Germany. I've toured in China. I've been on national TV. I have all my siblings and my immediate family is alive. That is successful to me. That is I'm very successful. I got my health. You know, I'm the most successful person. They are shocked. They're shocked. They're like, oh, well, they start thinking, oh, well, if you feel uncomfortable, what is it? You uncomfortable with LGBTQ? Are you judgmental? And I said, no, I'm not judgmental at all. I said, you know what? I gave them an example. I turned on YouTube. I said, I showed them Bad Bunny. Even Bad Bunny has taken it to places where I wouldn't take it. But there's a video of him dressed like a woman. I said, I would do that. Because it's funny, it's a comedic thing. I would do something like that, but when I have to change my whole character for a brand that might stick with me for life,
right?
How am I gonna be able to live with myself?
Right.
Because I want to be fame boy.
Right.
Look at somebody like Lil Nas X now. And then I went to break down the barriers. There's so many different things of why I disagree with that. I said, you guys are from Germany. You're from Berlin. You're outside of America. We create our artists. We do not copy our artists. Y'all looking at Lil Nas X.
Trying to mimic that.
Mimic that.
Yeah, that was made here.
That was made here. I'm made in America. There's going to be people mimicking who we are.
Right.
I don't have to mimic somebody else. I'm not trying to be Lil Nas X. I'm Jules.
Right.
Are you kidding me? You got Jules right here.
This is the source. You're literally dealing with the source. Why don't we create something that can be duplicated instead of trying to duplicate something?
Ridiculous.
Bars.
Yeah, I like that. That's a gem right there.
No, I mean that's what you were saying to them. Like that's crazy. Like that's fire. Like that's awesome that you can freaking stand up for yourself in that.
We've had the experience. We had the experience being on the Xfactor. We've done nothing too detrimental to our character and who we are, but even like the last live show, we did not want to perform Queen.
Right.
And stuff, and our intuition and our gut was telling us, do Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-C-T, do Aretha Franklin. And unlike, someone like Astro stuck to his gut, like when he was on that show, saying, I'm not doing this. That's something that I would say we would regret. I don't know if you agree. In a sense,
I can live with it. It's the difference if it's something that I did. No, I'm saying I can't live with.
Oh yeah. You're right.
I think that's the barometer. Yeah, it's like that's where I can I? Yeah, we can live with it. You said I have to live with the fact that I changed my image for this. If I can live with that, I'm okay with doing that. Just like you said, I'll put on a dress. If you can live with that, cool, that's cool. But there's certain decisions like, all right, I'm not doing what I want to do, but I can live with knowing, all right, I did a Katy Perry song instead of Aretha Franklin. I can live with that. Like, I don't think I could have lived with doing the Dolly Parton. I mean, I would have felt different. Like, it would have been different. So, like, it's you just gotta gauge it, and it's just within you. It's just
it's within you. I said, there's no way I'm gonna be able to come back home. My friends and family will look at me totally different. Those
pictures come out and you like, why?
And the pictures is like crazy. There was two.
He's doing ballet.
I make this joke with my friends. Shout out to Vocaz. Shout out to Kev. We crack about it. We make jokes about it all the time. They wanted me to hold. There was two sticks. There was two sticks in the wood. There was one stick and the other stick. They wanted me to hold the other stick and have me bent over with my butt between the other stick. Are you crazy?
Whoa.
Are you bugged out? I told you this.
I don't remember that detail.
He's like, detail. He's showing me.
Put your booty cheek, one cheek on this side of the pole.
I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
Damn.
I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Sheesh.
So, that was originally what happened. I came back and that wasn't it, because we came to the discussion one person agreed with me and said, you know what, I understand you. We're gonna, because their whole idea was, we want a story for you. How we're gonna build the story of the person that you are, just like how they were doing on the Xfactor. What type of artist you gonna be? And I said, I'm the pioneer. I'm from New York. Like, I'm from where it started. Like, and then it snapped in them. They're like, you know what? We should do that. We're going to make you the 50 Cent Jay-Z of Germany, where you're going to be the artist and basically put on other Germany artists, because the roots is from me.
Right.
I said, yeah, I love that. He came up with that idea. He said, you're gonna basically be the artist who owns a record label. We're gonna put the record label under you. You're gonna be the face of the record label, and then we're gonna bring other German artists under you.
They're co-signed by you.
Because they're co-signed by you, and you are the originator from New York.
Would have worked if they would have gave you the steering wheel. They could give you the keys.
I said, perfect. That's what we going with. So I went back home to take a break to officially move everything over. And I think I just was being tested. Then someone else from the record label, who I think was the financial advisor, who's putting all the money down, they want me to send my masters. If you don't know what the masters is, my recordings, my vocals, the beats, everything, they want me to send it. And I'm like, why do you want me to send it? Oh, well, we just want to know, we want to know if you recorded it yourself and blah, blah, blah. I got it. I got the stuff. First of all, you signed me. You should know that I do this. You see me work. I got the stuff. You don't. Well, you need to trust the label. If you don't trust the label, this is not going to work. We want your masters. No, I'm not sending you my masters. Cut. Listen, you send me the contract. We're not doing this. They never send me no photos, footage, anything like that. It was cut ever since then. So I love telling this story because I want to put them on blast. Serenic Entertainment in Germany. Don't sign with them. They did me dirty. They did me dirty, and still to this day hasn't given me all my photos. So I spent this whole time in Berlin, in Germany, and I haven't received anything. You know, and luckily we signed a non-exclusive, so I'm not attached to them. But we were supposed to be doing big things, and it's sad because I really did. The person who brought me on, I really had love for her. You actually met her because we spent time in Vegas together. One of our really big fans, close fans. And I just guess she was taken by her team. So yeah. So she has to stay loyal to the team that she was with. But it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like you said, I could live with myself.
I think that is the moral of everything we've been saying for the past couple minutes. And I just want to kind of sort of revert back to like the Diddy thing, man. Watching that documentary really opened my eyes. And even what you were saying is a perfect example for that, man. We got to, people, foot stomp this. Stand on your integrity, man.
Stand on your integrity.
You have to stand on your integrity. And that goes beyond power. That goes beyond influence. That goes beyond money. A lot of times these people in this situation, not even just women, because if you watch the documentary, even his assistant is talking about, his bodyguard is saying, I wish I would have said something. I wish I would have. Stand on your integrity.
Yeah, that means more.
You are gonna regret it. That's why, like, I didn't watch the documentary at first because I'm like, I don't want to be, it's so many things. No, these things are important to come out so people can see examples. Y'all need to stop doing this shit, man. Y'all need to really start holding these people accountable and stop giving them the power that they have. Because at the end of the day, we have it. P. Diddy can do something like that because he can go from female to female. Somebody gonna accept it. And if you're the one who keeps accepting it, low-key, you're enabling it. You're enabling it. I know it doesn't feel that way in the moment.
It's easier said than done, too.
I get it.
Especially coming from certain places. We witnessed it on the Xfactor.
No, it's easier.
Listen, we're from New York. We had people on the Xfactor who were competing with from Idaho or some in the middle of America who's never been in the city.
I get that. Let me finish this point. I get that. I get that, but it's the same idea. Yo, these people don't have the power unless we give it to them. We give them the power. And if enough people start shutting this down, if enough people start checking it, somebody like P. Diddy won't manifest, won't have the ability to do the things that he does because nobody's rocking with it. But because he has people who are enabling this behavior, who's saying, yeah, yo, because he put me on the yacht, because he gives me this and because he gives me that, I'm going to just be okay with it and I'm going to, go with the flow. No, man, this shit happens time and time again. And the consistent theme of all of these things is that there are a trail of people behind it that are saying, I wish I would have said something. Same thing with R. Kelly. I wish I would have did something. I seen it, but I didn't know. I heard something, but say something.
Well, let me say something. You're 100% right, but we got to understand it was a different time. Now, they have made it easier for us to speak out because at a time, there was something called blackballing. They try to say you get canceled, but now you can't really get canceled when we have this. We have all this technology where you can speak your word. That's the only reason why Kanye hasn't been quote unquote canceled, even though, but it's like we at one time, people were afraid because they would be blackballed because of that power. There's people like Diddy who have power who can make you never work a day in your life. You're never going to work a day in this business. I'm going to take this from you, take this from you. So those people have been quiet for a long time. But with that said, it is a new day. Mm. It is a new day. Too many examples that's going on for people to keep making these mistakes, And they are mistakes because, like you said, we have people that are not as knowledgeable or experienced as us. I mean, look, when I was on the Xfactor, I was 19. How old were you? You were like 20, early 20s.
24, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, I love that Kanye quote in the song. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would have been like that on your ass. It's like if we had that knowledge, so many things would be different. Even us on the Xfactor, everything would have been different because we've been challenged, even though we passed the test. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I like to thank God. Right. I extremely like to thank you personally because you are my older brother and lead by example. And we have it on that song. I love that song. Money keeps calling. Yeah. That because you
we gotta do something to that.
You were talking about it in that song. It's like I don't bend over for no one's. I stand 10 toes down.
I believe I'm 10 toes for sure. On the TV they paint you so difficult. Behind the scenes they're mad you won't sell you.
So yes, yeah. It's like, and you are a prime example of that. Because me being young, I'm always trying to figure out, let's try. You? Nah, yo, I don't care if it was Simon, whatever. And you're like, hell no. Like, I witnessed you doing that. Like, and I'm like, this is a hell no to Simon. Like, yo, you don't care. We're not selling our soul. Like, and that's the knowledge of just being older and being an older brother. Because a lot of people would have done certain things, talk you into doing things. Yo, we need to do this because we need to be big. Yeah. Now, we didn't do that. We stand 10 toes down. Even when they try to get us to, go against the lyric, we're like, nah, we're not doing that. And I think that's one of the main reasons. There's a lot of variables of why we got eliminated on the Xfactor. Hurricane Sandy was going on during that time. People say that. But for me, I always like to say that we were rebels. For sure. And they started feeling that. And when they feel that on reality TV or in the industry, period, they don't want to work with you. They don't want rebels. They want people who they can use.
They don't want
robots.
rebels. They want robots.
They don't want rebels. They want robots. That's a fact.
Sheesh.
And as soon as we started, like, you
Rebels
know,
over robots,
being
man.
rebels over robots.
That's
a gem right there.
I gotta put that on a shirt.
Yeah, that's a gem. So, and we seen that because we started, you know, we doing an interview. Nah, we're not doing that. Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. And they're like, oh, word, you're not doing that? Get the hell off the show. We sending you back home. But God's willing.
God bless it, man. It's at the end of the day, man, like we haven't even touched we haven't even got into our spiritual understanding of stuff, like, because this stuff goes deeper, like, and everything you're saying, like, it taps into the spiritual realm of stuff, and I can't wait until we get into that, maybe even the next episode, because this episode is over. So
Definitely.
We appreciate y'all so much.
Next episode, let's bring a special guest. I think it's time
next one?
for our first guest that I don't know if you remember.
A surprise guest?
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be a surprise. We're not gonna talk. I don't know if you remember, because the last time you said you don't remember. Do you
I think
remember?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Special guest, most important guest. To be honest, this will be the most important guest that we have on this show.
And why not be the first?
And why not be the first? Right. So and it ain't gonna be anything that tops this guest. So
thank y'all so much, man. Thank y'all so much for vibing with us today. It was such a very impactful, emotional
story.
It's a lot in this episode. So we appreciate y'all rocking with us this whole time, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share the movement, share the making moves.
Yo, we got a lot in store right now. We got some movie reviews. Yeah. So check out that. Check out the page. Check out our individual pages. We've been dropping a lot of music, dropping a lot of content. And I'm going to say this, don't be a bandwagon, man. We're saying this for a reason right now, man. A lot of people have been watching, but they're not liking, they're not commenting. Right. If you really have love for us, show some love. Right. Don't do it later. Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we've seen it. It has happened.
People saying, yo, I rock with y'all. I rock. When we see them and when behind the scenes, people...
And no one says nothing. But as soon as you get on TV,
then they want to tell the whole world
and
how
the
they
wood
showed
works.
Support. They loved you. You're so great.
It will happen again. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. It is happening as we speak now. Right. Do not join later. Join now. Like, subscribe, share, show some love.
Yeah, like
a
you
little
do for
comment.
Everyone else. It's the thing. It's the same thing. Like, it gets me annoyed when I think about this. It's like you'll go show love to the celebrity who
doesn't know you.
Instead of showing love to the people you do know. You know us.
You know
we
us.
We went to school together. I see
heart.
you. We
just
killed.
one heart. One heart.
Come on. Show love to people that you know and show love to the people who's doing it at the lower level. Yeah. Because we're doing that. This making moves thing is not just about us sitting in the van talking. We're making moves. We're trying to start a movement.
Community, man.
A literal
movement.
A movement that shifts things away from the powers that be.
And we remember.
They don't give a fuck about you
and
or us.
We remember. We definitely remember.
Right.
And prime example, before I'm not gonna drag this out because we're ending it, but like anyone who knows us has known we've been in the big places and we put a lot of people in positions regardless where we was at. And that's proof to a lot of people who we know. A lot of people can vouch for that. We never have changed. Even when we changed for the better, but even when we were on TV, we still brought people along and we still made things happen. So that's gonna be the closing. Melee and Jules, making moves, Godcast. Let's get it, man.